teams. How about Washington? They're 0-4 and they're playing the Patriots. Head coach Jay Gruden still hasn't named a starting quarterback for Sunday's game, and he doesn't seem to be in any rush to do so.
I'm sure you're asked this, but what's the plan at quarterback right now?
We don't have one right now. I'm going to go out here, practice today. We have an individual and a little bit of work we're going to do. I'm going to see the health of the guys. First of all, see where Dwayne's at, and I'll make a decision shortly.
So you expect to make a decision today?
I don't know yet. I might just wait till Sunday at 1 o'clock and just figure it out then.
It was the first time for everything. I've been covering sports for 30 years. I've never heard a coach ask the question, what's your plan at quarterback? And the answer be, we don't have one. I've never heard that happen before. I understand there are extenuating circumstances. Shefty, what the heck is going on in Washington?
This, to me, is pretty simple. Look, Dwayne Haskins is not ready, and it was strange that they've wanted to keep him on the sidelines as long as possible all year long. And when we were in Washington the week before for Monday Night Football, the plan was, no, Dwayne Haskins isn't going to play. And even when Case Keenum was struggling in the Monday night game, they even didn't turn to Haskins at that point in time. And then a week later, when they're getting blown out by the Giants, demolished, it's almost like they feed Dwayne Haskins to the wolves. It was a very odd juxtaposition.
Well, your friend Louis Riddick called it an agenda, said it reeked of an agenda that night by Jay Gruden.
I don't disagree. And you've got a situation now where Case Keenum has a foot injury, was not practicing yesterday, was in a walking boot. They're not going to put Dwayne Haskins back out there. Jay Gruden loves Colt McCoy, who's healthy and has been healthy. And so, to me, all signs point to Colt McCoy starting on Sunday against a tough New England Patriots. You're not going to put Dwayne Haskins against Bill Belichick's defense. You're not going to put Case Keenum. It's like by process of elimination, it has to be Colt McCoy.
If you have an agenda, he might want to throw Dwayne Haskins out there for Jay Gruden to kind of prove his point if maybe he didn't want him. But I've never heard an NFL coach, when you have one guy who's injured, another guy who's coming off an injury, and you have a rookie quarterback come out and say, I'm going to see how it goes in practice. They ask the follow-up, will you know after today? And he's still saying no. Like, Woody, have you ever gone into a Thursday without knowing who your starting quarterback is going to be?
I've never heard.
It doesn't even make sense.
I've never heard of anything. Never heard of anything like that. I mean, and if I'm a player on offense, I'm just looking around like, what the hell is going on around here? We don't even know what our quarterback situation is looking like. Here it is. We're deep into preparation in a week, and we got all this stuff going on.
Is Jay Gruden going to be the coach of that team much longer? I mean, that's obviously the big question here. That continues to swirl around him. We've heard all the different comments out there. What are you hearing out of Washington?
You heard what Stephen A. said this week, right?
Yeah, and I feel like he's not the only one.
No, he's not, and I think Stephen A.'s point is spot on. I think it's a question not of if, but when. Is it this week? Is it next week? Is it next month? I think everybody knows that at some point this is coming to an end, probably sooner rather than later. And we'll just see and wait how it all unfolds. But his time there, his days there are numbered.
Listen,
right?
I can't think of a worse situation in the whole sport right now than what we have going on in Washington. And I think if you look back at the last 20 years, it's easy to figure out where it came from. Shefty, I'm running the hurry up with you right here. What is the latest on Sam Darnold and Mono?
Greeny, I think that they're prepared to take this as long as they have to get his spleen clear to play Sunday. Like Adam Gase said yesterday, we'll wait till Sunday if we have to. And they're preparing him as if he will play. And then if he can't, then they'll have to go back to Luke Falk. That's not what the Jets want to do. They'll continue to wait on Sam Darnold.
That's not what I want either. Next up, Tyreek Hill back at practice for the Chiefs. When's he going to play?
He got a good result on his most recent test on his shoulder. Now, the thing is, the Chiefs still haven't lost a game. They're playing very well. They haven't missed him, so they're really not going to rush him back. Now, they want to see how he does in practice all week long. If he looks good, they could put him out there Sunday night, but I sense some caution there. I'll just say that.
And then speaking of the opposite of caution, Saquon Barkley was expected to miss 4 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain. He was back on the practice field doing drills yesterday, and listen to what his coach had to say.
I don't know. Some people's doctors had him 8 weeks, not my doctors. I think, we're just going to see where he's at. He's out there moving around. I've seen him moving around. I guess this is the first opportunity for you guys too, so that's probably why it's a point of interest.
They were saying yesterday they hadn't ruled him out for this weekend, that there's talk of him coming back that soon. D. Wood, high ankle sprain. What do you make of this?
This is almost like inhuman because I've had high ankle sprains. And high ankle sprain can be worse than a broken leg. It can literally be that serious, and for him to possibly not even miss a game.
Well, he missed one, but we'll see if he only misses one.
He's not going to play this week. And then next week, they have a short week, a Thursday night game against the Patriots. I think the hope would be to get him back for that game, but you're not going to rush your franchise back, and we'll just have to see.
Are you or are you not? Is he just saying that? I mean, that's really the question here. Shouldn't everyone be approaching this with an abundance of caution, including Saquon himself?
He is your most prized asset right now. I mean, he's the most valuable player on your team. And here's the problem I think the Giants are. They're looking at the division. They're 2-2. They're a game out of first. And so I think they're kind of believing in their mind a little bit that maybe we're a playoff team, which I don't think anybody believes that except for maybe them. And so they may rush one of their guys back. We just watched Andrew Luck retire. We just watched Cam Newton, who they've kind of denied some of these injuries for in the past 2 years. And look at what he's become. Rest your guy. Get him healthy. This is not a playoff season. Make sure he's ready to go so that when you are ready and your team is built in 2 years or maybe even next year, he's not washed up and he can still do it.
I'm looking right at you, D. Wood. I mean, would you, if you're Saquon Barkley, you going out there as fast? And we all respect the idea he wants to go out there as fast as he can, but we all know what the circumstances are with these running backs and everything else.
Listen, Greeny, I've done it. I've shot it up, done it, been out there. That's just a player's mindset. Players
You got to protect them from themselves.
Yeah, well, that's coaches and medical staff do it.
Yes.
But Bobby, you and I both know players, we're going to do whatever we have to do to get back out there on the field.
I get it. And so someone has to, I think, sit him down. I think, Shefty, I like your plan. You're not going to play this week. Short week coming up after that, and then we'll have the conversation. Meanwhile, let's get up and go. Bunch of other stories out there. Jaguars owner Shad Khan telling the Associated Press last night the team has no plan to trade disgruntled cornerback Jalen Ramsey despite his continued desire to be moved. We'll talk to Shefty more about that as the morning continues. But as of now, it continues to be a stalemate and a stare down between Ramsey and the Jaguars.